live?
We're thinking about it.
Are we going live?
We are going live.
We are going live.
We've gone live. We're glive.
Live?
Glive. That's going live. That's the hip way to say it.
Oh, yeah, we're live, man.
We're live.
Because we're almost the antithesis of hip. You realize that, right?
No, it's jive.
Oh, okay. Hi, everyone.
It's Mike Meyers.
And Scott Jernigan.
And we're here on the, what day of the week is it?
Wednesday.
Wednesday edition of the Mike Meyers Ask Me Anything live stream. It is, oh, sorry, the whole world's talking to me all of a sudden. They wait till it's time for me to go on.
I know.
They talk. So the goal of this live stream is to provide those of us who are isolated by the coronavirus an opportunity to continue our studies primarily on CompTIA certifications, which would include
IT Fundamentals Plus, A+.
You know, I always want to call IT Fundamentals INET Plus. Do you remember that, sir?
That was like from 20 years ago.
I know it was.
Okay, so ITF Plus, A+, Network Plus.
You just did it too.
Security Plus, what?
You just said IT Fundamentals.
I said ITF Plus.
Oh, I think.
Oh, man. Just rewind. Let's hear it.
No. I'm too lazy.
Security Plus, CYSA Plus,
At
Pen
all.
Test Plus, Cloud Plus.
CISSP? No, I'm kidding.
But you can ask us anything. Keep the religion and politics out of the show, and keep the chat channel PG, and I'll be happy.
And we'll all get along just fine.
So we have senior instructor at Total Seminars, Dave Rush, is moderating in the background on this channel. He's wielding the band hammer today, unlike me, since I'm here with Mike in the studio. So ask us some questions. We might even answer. Except for this guy, Mr. Distracto.
I just got it. Folks, I'm sorry, but it's still a working day for us, and I've got to deal.
All right, Dave says our volume is fine. It sounds good, like a nest of angry murder hornets. Okay, excellent.
All right, so here we are.
Andrew, we have your address. It's all good.
All those insider humors.
The D-off stuff. He wants his watch, man.
I just keep forgetting to do it.
That's why he keeps reminding you.
Yeah, that's the way to handle it.
That is the way to do it. All right, so first question. Well, let's see who's here first. There was Ciara, very early, who left a direct message and a phone number, which I
also left her phone number and
I'm like deleted
Yep.
because don't do that. Please don't do that. If you need to contact Mike or me, you have our email address, right? It's right there in the front of the book, or Michael M at TotalSim.com, Scott J at TotalSim.com.
Your laptop is preventing me from being able to hit any of my controls. So you get to do all the controls.
I don't want to.
You have to.
All right, I will do controls.
That
What do I
doesn't mean
push?
I'm ready.
Oh, well done. That was me throwing my hands up.
Okay, now you can press. Yeah, that button right there. There we go. All right.
Okay.
So there's two ways to ask questions. Number one, you can type them into the live stream, or secondly, you can just type them and send me an email. Send me an email to michaelm@totalsim.com, and I'll be glad to answer those questions online. I will not use your name unless you say I can. Also, if you're a gamer, I'm Senor Pepe, and or ask anything else, there could be Desweds, DESWEDS. I'm Desweds at just about everything, and it's an easy way to get a hold of me. Stop playing footsie with me.
Hey, what happens under the table stays under the table. Just saying.
I want to play World of Warcraft. I'm serious.
Okay.
Tonight.
Tonight.
Can you play World of Warcraft tonight?
Yes.
All right. I have a slow night tonight.
Okay.
I say I'm going to pull out my 26 mage, which I finally got the talent tree built back up and a few things.
Okay.
So if you're a World of Warcraft player, there's an opportunity. I want to play tonight.
So we are
Tonight.
This is
Isn't that a song?
We're on the.
We're coming to America tonight. No?
Yeah, that's great, Mike.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
Yeah. We're on
Tonight.
World of Warcraft Classic Bloodsail Buccaneers server.
Yeah, so actually this is quite serious. If you want to play, first have a character in the mid-20s or mid-20s to low 30s.
Sure.
I don't know, we'll play, it's Brewfest. We can play with anybody right now.
Oh, okay.
I tried to ride a goat. I've lost my goat riding skills. If you're not a World of Warcrafter, you would not understand what I'm just saying. You remember Brewfest goats?
I'm just picturing you on a goat, Mike.
from Carano's to Iron Forge.
Yeah, I'm there. I'm with
and you got to press it the right way or it starts
yeah.
to slow down. Oh my gosh. We have some huge news today, but I'm not going to tell you the huge news yet. This is very big news. Exciting stuff about giveaways. I'm going to announce here shortly.
Yes. Excellent.
So what's the one thing we never give away? We give away practice questions.
We do.
We give away books.
We do.
We give away video access, right?
Yes.
But what's the one thing we can't give away?
Vouchers, of course.
Vouchers. We're going to start giving away vouchers. That's right, folks. I'll make a more official announcement here shortly when we get more people in line. But starting Monday, Total Seminars is going to be giving away vouchers every day. So this is very exciting. We're going to still do the regular giveaways as well. But vouchers.
Every time you slap the table, you're redlining.
Okay, I'll stop doing it. I'm trying to put some right emphasis on the right syllable.
And that red line too. Wow. Okay, our mics are hot today. Woohoo! That's exciting.
But it is exciting to start doing some vouchers. I'm very excited about that.
That's very cool.
All right, so a couple of things here, guys. Number one, so to ask questions, either send me an email or put them in here into the, I'm assuming that's that way for you guys, into the chat. Well, when you're looking at the chat here on YouTube, you'll see it probably says top chat at the top. Hit your pull down and change that to live chat for me, would you please? And also the 3 dots, the ellipses over there on the right, you might want to toggle your timestamps. Make sure your timestamps are on. Timestamps are kind of handy, especially if we're doing competitions here. And then the last one is a pop out, which I'm going to go ahead and pop them out because it's a little bit more convenient for me. All right. All right, so basically we start here at 2 o'clock Central Daylight Time, and we go till 3 o'clock or until the questions run out. So whichever comes first, that is completely up to you guys.
And if the questions are rolling in hot and heavy and 3 o'clock rolls around, we'll just keep going for a while.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Absolutely.
So Bob knew, but 117. Nothing like being 43 minutes early, huh? But of course, all caps, I will not miss the live stream.
Yeah, but
Excellent,
I don't see
Bob.
him on there. He's gone.
Really?
He's out there. We got some new faces in there.
Excellent.
This is good.
So Matt is here, I know, because he's been raring to ask questions. Good to see you. Tullowit, Alan Duggan, Andrew Hutz. Always fun to see you. Dave Rush checking in. Excellent.
Scott Jernigan's on.
Wow. I've heard he's a really nice guy.
No, he's an obsequious popinjay.
Oh, my. Elephant Nut is here at 2 o'clock. Excellent. Every once in a while, if you're new to the YouTube channel or haven't been here in a while, when we're scrolling on the chat, it'll super scroll and go all the way to the end, and then there's this long pause where I babble and make up something incoherent like I'm doing right now, and I'm scrolling back up to try and find out where I was. So there you go. Because I knew there was a question at 2:01 from Matt. And Matt says, all right, here's my question. I'm studying for the Security Plus 601.
Okay.
I'm having a problem understanding when you should use MAC filtering, when to use whitelisting, hoping you can explain both.
Sure. So whitelisting and MAC filtering have nothing to do with each other. Whitelisting is simply the concept and process of creating an access control list which allows who are you going to allow to come in. That's a whitelist, whereas a blacklist simply is an access control list that says who you will not allow in. So you can do whitelisting on port number, on IP address, on time of day, on outbound URL, on DNS server, on username, on all kinds of things.
Including MAC addresses.
Including MAC addresses.
Right.
So that is one place where you can whitelist because a MAC address is something you can filter on. And you can basically say, if I'm going to do, so MAC filtering can be either whitelisting or blacklisting. With a MAC filter that's doing a whitelist, you'll say, these are the only computers I'm going to allow through.
Right.
Okay? Whereas with blacklisting, you're going to say, these are the addresses that I'm going to stop. Everybody else can come in. The challenge you have with doing any kind of access control list with a MAC address is if those MAC addresses change. So in a small little home network where you've got 4 or 5 computers, you can actually go in. Let's just say we're going to do this with, we're going to set up an access control list for allow outbound port 80 and port 443 queries. Okay. All right? So basically, if you're not in my list of MAC addresses, you're not going to be able to get on the internet. Or you're not going to be able to access a web page.
Okay.
So that would be one example of it. So if you were using MAC filtering as a blacklist, you'd say anybody can get on the internet except for these MAC addresses. But that's only one example of where MAC addresses come into play. And certainly MAC filtering can be, I guess MAC filtering would always be a whitelist or a blacklist thing. I couldn't come up with a way where it wouldn't be one of those because it is by definition an ACL. So when to use whitelisting? So the one place that you could probably use whitelisting would be, and we're assuming that we're talking about a edge router here in a SOHO environment. So the one place you could probably use whitelisting would be for, your fixed devices within your NATed network. So on the internal network, that would be one place. Blacklisting on MAC addresses is almost impossible, mainly because you never know what next MAC address is going to show up.
And also, MAC addresses are incredibly easy to spoof, which means you can just pretend to be a different MAC address. Your computer can pretend to be a different MAC address and get right past the little blacklist. So from a practical standpoint, since you're studying 601, the only time you're going to use MAC address filtering or MAC filtering is on the exam. As far as real security goes, whitelisting is too hard and too rigid, and blacklisting is too easy to break. So it's a good concept, but not in the real world.
Yeah, and for some reason, CompTIA has pushed this for ages as a legitimate tool set for securing networks. I disagree with that, but for the exam, be able to say how to whitelist a MAC address. But keep in mind, don't forget, ACLs can whitelist or blacklist on all kinds of criteria. Don't just limit yourself to MAC addresses.
Right. So Mackie G.
Hello, Mr.
Mackie G Tube. Greetings from Serbia.
Serbia.
Excellent.
Welcome aboard.
Patricia Grace. Not supposed to be political, Dave. I'm not scrolling back up to see what he said.
Yeah, let's just keep on moving on. See, Altolowit's all excited. He's time for
he's
WoW.
Like, yeah. So
we're gonna play WoW tonight.
There you go. Which would be like midday for you.
So what time would it be? Like 7 o'clock your time? Our time?
About that. Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
I think I'm on the hook for cooking dinner tonight.
Okay.
But I'll just make it early.
Yeah, I have many things I want to talk about. I've literally forgotten more about WoW than I remember.
Well, that's good. David Mohan is here. Hello.
Hey, David.
Dave, nice. Whipping out some Serbian there. Excellent.
It's Cyrillic, but yeah. Silvio Ferreira. Mike, thank God you are awesome computer guy, because you have to practice your singing skills. What's he saying?
Wow.
Silvio, I have a voice like a sailor. It dies at sea.
I think he's saying don't quit your day job, Mike. That's it. To become a lounge singer.
I got him.
Yeah.
Star Wars, nothing but Star Wars.
That's beautiful. Boss.
Good answer, Mr. Vice President. Jetson, let me see you the way you are now. Fired. Hey, come on, let's go.
Baptized. Mike, your favorite topic, symmetric and asymmetric encryption. I always get confused between the two. It would be great if you can give an explanation with examples for...
Yeah, it's easy. Symmetric means you use the same key to encrypt and decrypt. Symmetric means you use the same key to encrypt and decrypt. That's all it means. 99% of all encryption done on the internet today is symmetric. The problem with symmetric is that if you and I are far away, how do I get you that key to do things?
Right.
And that's where we use asymmetric encryption. Isn't really used for much of encryption, to be honest with you. For example, let's talk about accessing a modern web page that's got, I don't know, what would be a more modern crypto set to use, like AES 256 and...
Sure.
I'm going blank. RSA is being replaced by ACC, so we got a nice elliptic curve thing. And
ECC.
That's what I said. I prefer the southern E.
Ah.
Eh? So asymmetric encryption, like when you're accessing a web page, the only thing asymmetric encryption does is it provides a degree of authentication using certificates and all that stuff. But then secondly, once that asymmetric handshake takes place, the only thing that's important that gets passed is an AES symmetric key. And then once that's done, your entire thing is done through symmetric. Isn't that crazy? Because people look at a web page, you're like, oh, here's all my certificates, da-da-da. No, the only part that's done is for the initial handshake to get the AES key to the other side safely.
Okay.
That's it. So symmetric means you use the same key to encrypt and decrypt. Asymmetric means you have two keys. One is the public key, which encrypts, and another is the private key, which decrypts. That's it.
All right, sounds good. Hope that answered your question. Baptize?
Yeah. And baptize, if it doesn't answer your question, ask more questions. We can develop it.
Absolutely. Alison Brown checked in at 2:06. Yes, he
Today.
Oh gosh, no! Just stop. Do not feed him.
They're coming to me. Can you answer some questions,
Beast
Scott?
Mod player says hello. Hello.
Hello, Beast Mod. Hey, Beast Mod, are you a World of Warcraft player?
So at 2:08, Matt has another question. He did say, by the way, well before the show started, that he had quite a few. So this is good.
Sure.
Matt says, can you go over how to prevent a man-in-the-middle attack?
Absolutely not. I cannot. Because how man-in-the-middle attacks are dealt with depends on the type of man-in-the-middle attack. All right, let's say we're doing a 802.11 deauth attack, which is a man-in-the-middle attack, form of a man-in-the-middle attack, all right? So basically what happens with an 802.11 deauth attack is you get some device that looks like a walkie-talkie, and it's probably a jammer. And what it does is well, that's actually not a deauth. Let's stick with a deauth. With a deauth, you have some kind of device that basically says, oh, I'm all these other computers that are already authenticated. Deauthenticate, that's a command in WPA2. Deauthenticate me.
Right.
All right? And then this device then tries to come in using MAC address spoofing and things like that to get the system to think he is that device. Ergo, man-in-the-middle attack.
Right.
And the trick to fixing something like that is you have to have either port security, right? Keeping track of who's allowed to do what. You can have wireless access point security, that unless it's one of these 5 devices based on MAC address,
Right.
And it has to be come through the Ethernet. That's a really good one too. All deauths they have to be ignored. It's just stuff like that. So the problem is I can't tell you how to stop a man-in-the-middle attack. Man-in-the-middle is just a method by which many attacks are done. So you'd have to ask me about each different type of man-in-the-middle attack, and then I would give you an example.
All right. Excellent. Avocado showed up at 2:10. Hey, good to see you. Always a pleasure. Had to stop for Mapo Tofu and beer.
Mapo Tofu.
Excellent.
You know what I would like to have some Mapo Tofu? Today!
No.
Go ahead.
All right, David Mohan.
Don't forget, we have really big news to announce today.
We have big news to
Literally,
announce.
it's probably the biggest thing we've announced like forever.
David Mohan, if you hire at 2:11, if you hire a person, which is more important, knowledge or experience? I think when I'm hiring somebody, my knowledge is probably, my experience is more. Oh wait, that's not what you're talking about.
No, he's talking. Generally, David, I would go with experience. The trick is that experience is something that can be easily listed on a resume, whereas knowledge, the only way you're going to get that is through a tech interview. So it can be a little bit more of a challenge for me. So I tend to go with experience.
All right.
Well, now I have to know what Mapo Tofu is. You ever heard of this?
I have not. Tell her it's like, I love Mapo Tofu. I make Mapo Tofu.
Does he?
Yes.
You take a bunch of old maps and you cook them down.
You cook them down. You distill it into something that tastes like nothing except for the sauce.
There you go. It's a Szechuan tofu dish, spicy sauce, red suspension, minced meat.
Okay. I like it too. In fact, I had it last week. I just didn't know what it was called.
I call that poke. Yeah, we're looking at Mapo Tofu here, guys.
Excellent. It's a food day. Food and lounge singing. That's
Come on, moving along, moving
all right.
along.
Moving on.
We have huge news today.
San Fotana at 2:13.
San Fofana.
San Fofana. That's what I said.
No,
I
Fana,
prefer the
Fana,
southern.
Fofana.
I prefer the southern T.
Bobana.
Sounds like
Today.
Alison Brown. How safe are your files in cloud storage?
Generally extremely safe, especially if we're talking about AWS S3 type things. In general, it is extremely safe. Now, what's dangerous and what you're not asking me is the stuff you put on the cloud without ever telling anybody, or, you know what I mean? Like, for example, one of my big issues is putting video imagery from my cameras on the cloud. And there's lots of people out there right now, man, you can get some really cheap cameras. Do you know why the cameras are cheap?
Why?
Because they want your information. So they sell you cheap cameras and inexpensive cloud, like $20 a year for cloud. But if you read through everything, they can basically go through all your videos.
That's not a good thing.
Well, you know, of course, then they're always like, oh, we're not going to do anything evil with it. It's like, well, you know. But Allison, in terms of like, are they going to show up in Facebook advertisements? Probably not. They're, in general, things are pretty safe in the cloud.
Yep. So at 2:13, I'm going to mispronounce your name. I'm sorry. Sagar? Pandit. Sir, do you know any institution where I can do CompTIA A+ or CompTIA Plus course? They all have pluses, so you have to be more specific on that one. In the UK. There are several UK people who are right here on this channel. In fact, they probably already have answered you.
Yeah, that's actually probably the best way to go. Sagar, there's lots of, the UK is a very big supporter of CompTIA certifications, and there's a number of schools out there that can help you.
Right.
Uh-oh. Suddenly, Sagar is getting deleted a lot.
Oh, because he's repeating his
He's
question.
just repeating himself?
Yeah.
Okay, no worries.
Yeah, you only have to ask a question once. That's why we suggest to turn on the timestamps on the chat so that we can say where we're at, so you'll know that we're not skipping you.
Yeah, absolutely. And Sagar, Scott, I'm going to let you go ahead. I'm going to see if I can do...
A quick search?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a place in particular. So, Sagar, where in the UK are you?
England.
Where in England are you?
England's tiny, man. It's like, you know.
Yeah, well, you try commuting from Yorkshire to Chelsea, okay?
Okay.
It's a long way.
It is a long way. I'm teasing our British friends.
I'm not going to be able to find one quickly.
Okay. Apparently, Dave. Right. Okay. All right. We're all good. We're all good. At 2:16, San Fofana. What device can be used to detect an electronic device among printed papers? What device can be used to detect?
So he's looking for a bug that's embedded into a stack of paper, which almost certainly means you're looking for an RFID device.
Right.
There are a number of RFID wands out there that will scan for a broad cross-section of RFID devices. Probably find one on Amazon. But if you're looking for RFID devices, which it sounds like you are, there's tons of RFID wand. W-A-N-D is the magic term they tend to use. Yeah, I got on YouTube and on Amazon and found quite a few.
So there's your answer.
And so oh, look at this. This is a fun little device.
Why don't you describe it to them so that they're
No, I don't want. It's
wondering.
It's a pet microchip thing.
Oh,
If you want to see if your chip's been.
I thought you put it on a leash and you walk it around the neighborhood and clean up after it.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, Scott.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
I pay him. No, I pay him money.
Because I'm really, really nice.
Yeah. And when you die, you will achieve full consciousness. So you got that going for you.
Well, there you go. I like it. All right. At
Scott, don't you know these people are just dying to hear about this amazing announcement I have?
Are you sure you want to tell them?
No.
Okay. All right. All right. So at 2:20.
I mean, I'll tell anybody. I don't want to tell David Mohan, though. I mean, he's trouble.
The capital T. He's
It rhymes with P, and that stands for pool.
What?
76 trombone. Music man?
What are you talking about? Pop culture?
I'm quoting musicals. Oh, that's right. I live in Montrose. It's okay.
Wow. All right. So 2:20. Ramen Fox Gaming asked, just wanted to stop by and say, thank you, Mike. I've used your A+ courses to help me study for my A+, and I'm currently doing the same for Network Plus.
Ramen Fox, you need to start playing World of Warcraft Classic.
Because that won't cut into your study time at all.
Nah, not at all. 30-minute wait for a raid. It's good.
Excellent. Oh, and I just super scrolled. Excellent. I love that. So 221, Baptize asks a follow-up question. If encryption-based DOS attack is categorized as ransomware, okay, ransomware attack is not necessarily a DOS attack.
Go ahead, I'm going to check.
Those are two different things. A denial of service attack is simply one of many ways to try and bring down a system. Ransomware attack is much more specific. It is a very vicious attack that bad people get a hold of your files, encrypt them on you, demand a ransom, as in you pay them in crypto coin, or they won't give you your files back. And as we've seen many times over the course of the last few years, most of those ransomware attacks, even if you pay them, you don't get your files back. So the best thing there is to have better security.
Well, this Pegasus sounds nasty.
Let me actually say his question out loud. There's a new type of threat I heard about. It's called Pegasus. What type of threat is it?
It's called a zero-click attack. I've heard of these. This is the first one I've actually seen. Basically, it's going to take advantage of some zero-day aspect. So as long as we can get that email to your pop box, it's going to activate. Is basically what it means. Oh my gosh! It jailbreaks iPhones.
I was about to say it can be covertly installed on iOS and Android.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. That's one word for it.
I haven't run into Pegasus in the real world, which speaks volume right there. But yeah, still not good.
Back channel. Pegasus has been in the news for at least 2 months.
Yeah, no, I've seen an article from the end of July here.
Excellent.
Yeah, guys, if you're looking for me to be the edge of all incoming malware, I am not your source for that.
Nope. We rely on Michael Smyer for all that.
Yeah, he's pretty handy in that department. Sagar's from Leicester. The problem with British towns is that they never pronounce the way they look.
It's either Leicester or Leicester.
Or Leicester, something,
it's Leicester,
some Nordic.
Leicester or Leicester. I'd say Leicester.
Leicester. I can't say it. It rhymes with really, 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 things.
Okay. Yeah. Look, confirmation from the back channel. Thank you, Dave. Leicester. I knew I had to drop a bunch of letters in there. I lived in a little town in Boston called Worcester, or in Massachusetts called Worcester when I was a little kid.
Worcester.
And it's has about 17 letters in it. Worcester.
Yeah.
Yeah, same deal. Looking for questions here. I'm still looking for questions.
So Scott's just scrolling through and looking for questions. While Scott's doing that, I'm going to go ahead and make a very, very big announcement, a very exciting announcement.
Okay.
Starting Monday.
I'm getting a raise?
Sure, you're getting a big salary. When are you going to get it?
I don't.
Today! Come on! Hand this to us. Anyway, so guys, in all seriousness, starting this Monday, upcoming Monday, we're going to be giving away 1 voucher per day, which I'm pretty sure we can use it on anything you want. I got to double check that point.
CompTIA voucher.
Yeah, so we're going to be actually working with CompTIA, and starting Monday, every AMA, we will give away a voucher. And I'm pretty sure we can set this up so Dave can give away a voucher as well. So, I mean, you're talking about around roughly $200 or more thing. So we're pretty excited about this. So starting Monday, tell your friends. Now, we'll continue to give away our, practice questions and things like that, as well as our massively discounted other things. But starting Monday, watch for this, and we're going to be giving away a CompTIA voucher that you can use for just about any CompTIA thing. Details as we get them come Monday. But,
all right, excellent, excellent.
Yeah,
that's exciting news, Mike.
Yeah, $200, man, every time we.
Yeah, that's.
I don't know about you guys. That's good money to me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm pretty excited.
So at 225, Mothered Animal asks, thin clients are being sold as a secure way for companies to provide access to information. Are there any vulnerabilities at the physical level?
So, I mean, let's assume we're talking about some classic, like a Citrix type of client. I mean, yes, there's going to be vulnerabilities at the physical level, but that's not going to be the riskiest part. If your physical level is exposed with any kind of client, it doesn't have to be a thin client, you've got a bigger issue. Somebody's coming in at the physical level and intercepting things. When we talk about that, the only real common physical level interception is wireless signals. But it does happen from time to time where bad guys can get in there and, But not a common, Mothered Animal, not a substantial concern for me.
The follow-up question that I forgot to read. I've noticed they have desk locking capabilities, but not so sure why they'd be required.
For the same reason we have screensavers with passwords on them or anything else. I guess the attitude is with a thin client, there's an easier attitude about leaving it up and running all the time because it's useless if it's not connected and up and running.
Right.
So,
okay. So at 225, Matt asks, more questions. Absolutely. This is what we're here for. Can you give me an example of race conditions?
Yeah, lots of them. So I could have a race condition where I'm getting a system to do one thing while I'm trying to interrupt another. I could intercept for a username and password in a man-in-the-middle type scenario. Anytime where we can get things out of order from where the programmers originally thought something might work. And here's the other problem. And Matt, you've been doing this, and it's okay to do this, but understand that a lot of times it's very difficult to come up with very specific examples for a lot of things, not necessarily because there aren't plenty of them, but because CompTIA says things like man-in-the-middle attacks. That's just wrong. There are lots of attacks that take advantage of man-in-the-middle as part of the attack structure.
Right.
And I don't like, we need a better word. Man-in-the-middle is a strategy for attack.
Okay.
And I don't like the way CompTIA has used this term. Race condition is a strategy for an attack. So what I'm telling you, it's not like you can walk up and go, oh, go to this program doing this thing, type this in, and you can create a race condition. You can do that, but done properly, these things are patched within days, if not hours, and then I can't use that as an example anymore. Get the idea? Right. This is what frustrates a lot of people when it comes to IT security, because they're like, well, the only thing you guys teach me is a bunch of attacks that we can beat. Well, duh, almost all the attacks can be beat. What we're trying to do is get you understanding what the heck man-in-the-middle means.
Right.
So that you begin to look and get some ideas on how you can deal with this. But to sit here and show you every potential man-in-the-middle attack would be impossible.
Okay. man in the middle. CompTIA is changing the names on some of these things.
Now it's person in the center.
Person in the middle is what a lot of companies have gone to, but CompTIA is calling it an on-path attack.
All right. So, I mean, that's not wrong. An on-path attack just means you're somewhere within the communication between the server and the client. You're trying to intercept in there one way or another.
Right.
So, I'm not going to disagree with that.
Oh, I'm like, why is my computer? I swear I turned the sound off, but it's your computer making that noise. Excellent. At 228, San Fofana asks, can the in-person CompTIA test be different than the online test in the level of difficulty? Thanks in advance, Mike. I have your book, and I'm enjoying it, by the way.
I'm highly confident, although I cannot absolutely prove this as a fact, I'm highly confident that the questions you see in the in-person exam that you do at home versus the one when you go to a place are the same bank of questions. We haven't heard any.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I don't think CompTIA has the sophistication to create two different types of test banks.
Yep. So either way, same test. You're golden.
Avocado. My life is simple. I earn more money so I can eat tastier food or drink higher quality coffee today.
Cheers.
I'm going to see how hard I can just grind that into the dirt, you know?
Right?
Today.
Wow. You had to feed him, didn't you?
I am there.
Okay.
We're going to play World of Warcraft this evening. Pew,
Right,
pew, 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 pew. Wait, is that how you play World of Warcraft?
That is.
That's pinball. And this is tennis.
Okay, and
this is
pinball
pool.
doesn't go pew, 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 pew.
Oh, it does when I'm playing it. Pew, pew, pew. No, here's me playing World of Warcraft. You ready? You guys ready? Here we go.
Oh. This is what he really looks like.
No, I'm trying to do the guy from South Park who had the Sword of Truth. Scott Jernigan, completely worthless. So in 1642, hey, Scott's like, I'll be right there. It was a long sword. It was, Johann the Resentful. Right? I'm trying to... Yeah. Come on, in South Park, when the Sword of Truth and the big guy, the big fat guy with the arm thing, and you'd just watch him. You guys are with me. My buddy Tolowit knows exactly what I'm talking about. My man. All right, let's keep going.
Okay. I'm continuing to go.
Matt, I'm going to be here there every live stream. Good man, Matt. A good philosophy.
Daniel Ocampo says, your books are so awesome. I read them for fun.
Me too. I do.
Okay.
I was born
Moving on.
to love you.
Alison Brown says that is a huge deal. Yes, absolutely.
David Mohan. David Mohan. Why do I think he's got one of those green visors and those straps you put on your arms? David, do you play a lot of poker by any chance? Do you negotiate on the price of a loaf of bread with your local grocer? So, buddies, now that I've got all the chips over here, I, David Mohan, want more chips. Can I cash it all in my wins for one voucher? Daniel Mohan, given the small turnout we have, you just keep showing up, you're going to get a voucher or two out of this. I'm going to make some rule about the number of vouchers. It's going to be like maximum of 2 vouchers per person ever, or something like that.
We'll definitely have to be a structure.
Yeah.
Very cool. And we'll tell you much more detail when we know it on all the things involved.
Yeah, there's not a lot involved. It should be pretty straightforward. So with luck starting Monday, we can do this.
So at 2:31, Daniel Ocampo asks a question near and dear to my heart. Have you guys ever considered doing audiobooks so I can study on the road?
I'm not against audiobooks. I just have to start singing a lot.
Yes, I want to do audiobooks.
You may do it.
You're right. In my copious spare time, I will do them. The difficulty we've had in the past, I guess the COVID thing should have been like the time to do it, but we were busy doing other projects and other books and things.
Yeah.
That would have been the perfect opportunity to try it out for whether it can sell. That's the big question. Raymond Fox Gaming, are you planning on doing any courses outside of CompTIA, maybe Azure or AWS?
Well, we're already doing AWS courses.
Right, so Mike does A+, Network Plus, Security Plus, and does videos and all that stuff as well. But we also have other subject matter experts who come in and have done things on Pentest Plus, on Cloud Plus, on CYSA Plus, AWS, and plenty of other courses that are in the works as well. And these are people who come in, we find them, we work with them to make sure that the standards of the videos are awesome, like Mike's videos, and everybody we've hired so far has been just fantastic. So yeah, we do AWS. Azure, not yet. We went with the bigger fish to start with. Mm-hmm. What happened with Guillermo?
Sort of 1,000 truths.
Check it out. Guillermo Moreno got a new job as an IT support. Congratulations, Guillermo. That's awesome. That is awesome.
Tiki said hello. 237.
Excellent. Hello.
Hello.
Sword of 1,000 Truths.
Andrew Hutz, now I'm playing what? Scroll up. Civ. Galactic Civilizations 3. Do you know this game?
I do.
Is it RTS or?
No. Yeah, maybe I haven't played since the first one. I don't know.
Well, Andrew Hutz is playing it, so it's got to be like, nerd game! Today.
What are you saying? Okay, so Alison Brown has a serious question, all right? Let's get back to important things. At 238, for someone interested in becoming a system administrator who has no IT background, along with A+, Net+, and Security Plus, would Server and Cloud Plus be a good move?
If you're really looking for system admin, first of all, you have enough certifications with A+, Net+, and Security Plus. Get you started for that entry-level job. What you're probably talking about, Allison, more than anything else as an admin is you need more Windows and or Linux administration experience. Certainly, Microsoft has a superb set of certifications now based on the old MCSE, but it's more cloud function than it used to be, and that would probably be the one way I would go. Yeah, that'd be the way I would go. I would definitely be looking at Microsoft cloud-based certifications. But more importantly, Allison, you need to be working, all right? You're not going to get, let me just keep collecting certifications until sometimes I hit some magic number where everybody's going to like, oh my God, we've got to have her. That's not the case. You need to start doing some basic, low-end, entry-level jobs. And that's what they're there for. There's tons of them out there. Allison, get to work.
And I had actually skipped one of your earlier questions, Allison. At 233, she asks, currently studying for A+ using Total Sims and your red and gold A+ book. That's the textbook version, the educational version. With my online program, is it best to follow the book and video chapters or study in order of the CompTIA objectives?
The CompTIA objectives stink. CompTIA organizes the objectives to most tightly organize what is going to be covered on the exam. That does not, just because CompTIA makes a list of objectives, that does not mean that that's the most teachable way to do it. Now look, Allison, if you're one of these types of people, and I run into them all the time, who you look at these objectives, and in your mind, that is the right way to look at your learning process, go ahead and do it. We've got an index in the back of all the books, the all-in-ones, which is that red and gold one you're talking about, and you can do that. I could write books in that order, but I don't see it as a logical way to learn. Right. I see learning in a much different way. Even CompTIA has been very clear to say that the learning objectives are not a table of content for instruction. It's just how CompTIA has decided to organize what they want you to learn. That's it. And every now and then we run into, like with Security Plus, I think big chunks of that, we end up following the outline because it makes sense. It's a good way to learn. But to do that with the A+ would be an absolute disaster in my opinion.
Right. So we put together the books and courses and videos according to the way that we teach the classes. So this is stuff that we've been doing for years, and we're doing what works, building from the foundation and then layering on more complexity so that by the time the A+ or Network Plus or Security Plus certified person gets finished with the course and gets certified, that they can do the job. And that's important. So, Baptize asked a question that I skipped also at 2:35. This is about the 601 exam, the Security Plus. There are too many abbreviations. That's welcome to the world of security.
Welcome to the world of IT.
Yeah. Does the exam test you on those and also ports? Do we need to remember multiple well-known ports under 1024?
All well-known ports are under 1024. Scroll back up, please.
Hold on. At 2:39, Dave Rush posted a PDF, a link to a PDF to download for A+, Security Plus, and Network Plus, all the ports and port numbers you need to memorize for each of those exams, all in one little pretty PDF, and that was recently updated.
So the only thing I'm going to say other than that is that, are there too many abbreviations? Well, then which abbreviation should I remove, Your Majesty? Right? I don't think there's too many abbreviations. I think far more problematic is that so many people think they need to memorize what all the abbreviations stand for. And there is no CompTIA exam where you will ever be quizzed at what does dhcp stand for. Doesn't happen. Now, you will run into questions where they may talk about dynamic host
configuration protocol,
control protocol, but
configuration,
lies, and statistics. But you need to know what dhcp is. I mean, you need to know what SNMP is. You need to know what NTP is. Then the memorizing of the abbreviation, which again, no one's ever going to ask you. Like I used to drive a Ford F-250. Scott, what does F-250 mean?
I don't know, Mike.
Yeah, but I'll bet we could go down to the Ford dealership.
And they would tell you?
Or you could pick out a Ford F-250 from a Ford F-150.
That's true.
All right, so that's really all it boils down to. Don't bother memorizing what abbreviations stand for. Understand what they are and what they do, but, I really don't know what DHCP stands for. Dynamic Host Control Protocol.
Configuration.
Whatever. But it may mean that today. I keep trying to use my mouse.
I know,
to make
right?
It's not working.
It doesn't work. And luckily, I don't tell him that this is actually a touch screen. Otherwise, he'd be fondling my laptop. Don't do it. Don't do it, Mike. Oh, wow. All right, at 2:40, I've now scrolled back down. Nick McCommon. Hey, Mike, I did your Core 1 A+ and passed the exam. Excellent. Congratulations. And now I'm working on your Core 2 exam. Excellent. Thanks for making this material fun and keeping me engaged.
Nick McCommon, you're welcome, buddy.
Awesome.
I like to use this voice when I get compliments.
I like that voice.
It's a good voice.
It's a great voice.
Bing bong, 5 minutes past the big hour of 5 o'clock.
And I super scrolled. Okay.
Dave Rush is deleting his own messages.
He does that when he does typos.
All right, so a couple of things we do need to be talking about. Number one, guys, just because you're kind enough to show up today, we have massive discounts on bundles. So basically what we're doing is we take one of the ebooks, and we have lots of ebooks, okay? And then combine it with practice questions, and we're doing these bundles at 50% off. These are ridiculous. First of all, my practice questions and my books are already about the cheapest out there in the market. And then with this discount, it's insane. It's insane. So anyway, this week, our special deals, 50% off ebook total tester bundles. A+, Net+, Security+, CYSA, Pentest, AWS. So all you have to do is go to www.totalsem.com, TOTALSEM, go to the merchant area, pick your ebook, and then a total tester of the same thing. And then when you're checking out, use the code GLENN. Glenn?
Glenn. As in like John Glenn, I guess.
I guess.
He was a famous astronaut.
I know who John Glenn is.
And a senator.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's the only man who has been both the Apollo program and went up on the space shuttle.
That's absolutely not true. You're in my superpower land. Lots of guys have done it. It's true.
Okay.
It's true. Now you're supposed to go, well, name them. And I'm
name them.
Robert Young, who was also on STS-1. He was one of the two guys. He was in Gemini and Apollo. There's more. I can't think of them quickly, though. Go ahead on, young man.
Okay.
Mr. Properly schlepped.
Awesome.
Rumor has it there was an announcement made in the CompTIA Reddit channel about voucher giveaway starting Monday. Tolowit, we never heard about that.
Unless, of course, Tolowit made the announcement.
Hey, guess what?
And yeah, you're right. In fact, I will, as soon as I have the details, I will go on Reddit as well and post. We have to be careful. We have to be careful on posting commercial type things on Reddit because the moderators get a little irked if I'm perceived as selling anything. So kind of keeping the commercialism out of it as much as possible. And instead just answering questions and saying congratulations and that kind of thing. Matt, at 244, is a Trojan virus a macro, or is a macro a separate virus in itself?
Totally different animals.
Right.
A Trojan really isn't a virus. So you should never call a Trojan a virus. So a Trojan is malware, most certainly, but a virus has to have two functions. It has to replicate, it has to spread out somehow, which pretty much all of them do over the internet. We used to call them worms, but now that's how everybody works, so that's it.
Right.
And the other thing it has to do is activate. So a Trojan has no way to replicate on its own other than people making copies of it or CCing an email or something like that. So that's all that Trojan means. Macro just means something that uses a macro, which classically would be like a Microsoft Word macro or Visual Basic. But you can have macros for any kind of scripting language is capable of having a macro. So they're completely different animals. A Trojan is almost always going to be some form of executable code. A macro is pretty much always going to be some type of scripting language, often already pre-embedded into a Word document or something like that.
Excellent. So at 244, Nick McCommon said thanks for the congratulations. And even better, I have a job lined up at a hospital as soon as I'm A+ certified.
Nick McCommon.
Make it happen, man.
He's totally Uncommon to me.
That's right. That's awesome. David Mohan at 244. Total Seminars channels. This one's directed at you, Mike. What is the worst CompTIA objective you have seen and you would get rid of?
All of the... I got it.
Hubs.
I don't have a problem with hubs. I have a problem with the 7-step troubleshooting process, which is just so arbitrary. And I'm not saying it's wrong, but it's one guy's opinion. I mean, if we're going to do troubleshooting theory, then we should
follow my opinion.
Which is?
Mine only has 5 steps.
Oh, okay. What's the first one?
I don't know.
Oh, that's right. But yeah, the 6 or 7 step troubleshooting process is not. They should teach top down, bottom up, which would be a good strategy for diagnostic. But yeah, so David, that's my answer.
Excellent. Alison Brown is commenting about, after reading the first chapter, I've had more well-rounded information versus looking at 1.1 mobile devices. I don't really know what that means, but there you go.
I'm with you, though.
Okay. So at 246 San Fofana, what is the difference between Mike's
2 books, the A+ Passport and the Big Red One? So first of all, San Fofana, there ain't 2, there's 3.
There are 3.
So there's here.
Are
Go
you
ahead,
wired?
Scott.
I'm not wired in. I can get it.
Yeah, just grab like samples, wherever. Yeah, so there are 3 different books. The 2 main books are going to look like these. Okay, maybe not in that language. But so these are the textbooks. These are designed for schools. They come with teacher guides and stuff like that. Then we have the all-in-one book, which is really designed more for individual learning. And then we have the passport books. So on any one topic, we'll have 3 different books for that. So the passport book is designed to be a cram book. Does a pretty good job at that.
Yep.
The all-in-one is designed for you to study on your own. And then the
Careful with that.
upgrading and repairing, these books are designed for classrooms. Now, to answer your question, the 2 big books have pretty much identical information on the inside. The textbook, the red one, has more end of chapter information for teachers to use and that type of stuff. The passport book is rewritten. It's rewritten. I mean, it's a rewritten book, so it's going to have different verbiage than the other 2 books.
Right. And the other big thing, and of course this is for you, Alison, since you're studying in the managing and troubleshooting book, there are no answers in the back at the end of each question, at the end of each chapter, just questions. Your instructor is supposed to have the answers.
Yeah, so if you buy these red books and you don't get the answers, sorry, we can't give them to you. It's only for instructors.
Yeah.
And we try really hard to make sure people understand that, but a few slip by all the time.
Right. Okay. At 248, Avocado asks, if you guys could fix one thing about the internet, what would it be?
One thing about the internet?
One thing, Mike.
Sure. I think that IPsec at layer 3 should have been adopted universally. If we'd have had IPsec universally adopted, then we wouldn't have HTTPS or SFTP or everything would be in point-to-point encrypted from IPsec. Now, of course, that also means that pretty much everybody would probably end up having to have a certificate, and that certificate issuance would be like a completely different animal because we'd all be running TTLS type security, which means you'd have your own personal certificate.
Yeah.
Which would be an administrative disaster. But I think if we took the time to build the tool sets so that people, if you lost your certificate, or if you lost your laptop or your smartphone, a reissuance and all that type of stuff, I think it would work out really well. And the coolest part is we'd no longer have any form of encrypted protocols because with IPsec at layer 3, everything's encrypted and quite well.
At 249, Tiggy asks, I heard that Windows 10 1909 build has or had some DNS problems.
Never heard a word about this.
So the other thing...
1909 is a little yesterday's taters.
It's very yesterday. And here's what's funny, right? Power went out at my house this morning, and so I had a chapter to finish. I drove down to the office. Nobody's there. And I opened up my machine that I haven't touched in a year and a half. Guess which build it's running? 1909. And in fact, I got a huge security warning saying, this version is too old. You need to update to a newer version of Windows 10 to get any security updates. So if you're still running 1909, update that.
Update your system.
Yeah, force an update through Windows Update.
Abu Bakar, Mike, tomorrow is my Core 1 test. Any advice? Yes, relax. Seriously. The most important thing you do right now is just relax. Just take your time. People like sit here and pound to the last second. I don't care if you're taking an SAT or a math final or whatever. Studying the last day is a waste of time, especially studying the day of an exam. If you don't know it by then, Right. I once learned an entire semester of geography in one night.
Stripes. It was physics, but yeah.
Stripes.
Yeah. Okay. If you would care to let us see your smiling faces and interact in real time.
We want to see that really bad.
Why'd you have to make that creepy, Mike?
Because I'm an old white dude. Everything we do is creepy.
We, my Meyers, Scott Jernigan, Total Seminars do not have a Discord channel, but our buddy Jose Braden hosts a channel called the Unofficial Total Seminars
Discord channel.
Discord channel. There we go. And
do you need help or you got this?
At 2:49, Dave Rush put up a couple of links to Discord. Click on it. Join us. There's tons and tons of people that are on there all the time. We tend to get on just after the AMAs and chat just for a few minutes at least. But there are plenty of great people that are on there. Tullowit, who you see making funny comments here, is one of the moderators. There are, it's a good place with good people. It's a little saltier than this channel. So just be warned on that. Yes. Anyway, Discord, it's good fun. Bring your camera, bring a microphone, say hi. Okay. And I just super scrolled again.
Okay, go look for 254. Scratch that, 257. Okay, baptized, 257. Diffie-Hellman, is it still in use in 2021? Good God, yes. If yes, where is it practically applied in today's world? It's easy. WPA3, which isn't even all the way out yet, simultaneous authentication of equals. SAE uses a Diffie-Hellman type thing to force an encryption. Diffie-Hellman is alive and well and works great and has lots of places in everything from VPNs to VPNs, WPA3, come on. Diffie-Hellman is completely deprecated for 443, so TLS handshakes can no longer run with Diffie-Hellman. There's more, and I just can't quickly think of them, but Diffie-Hellman is out there, very handy.
So I apparently misspoke, and Alison's using the all-in-one book instead of the textbook. Well, there we go. But it sparked a great discussion.
Abukar at 2:58. Guys, we're going to have to wrap up here pretty soon. I have questions about the cable. In the coaxial cable, we can use both F connector and BNC. No, you have to be careful here. So F connector is going to be used for RG59 and RG6,
right,
which are going to be the types of coaxial you're going to see for DOCSIS cable modems. There's another one with a separate ohm rating and everything called RG58, which was the old, oh good God, 10-base-2 or thin Ethernet. And the only place you're going to see BNC commonly in a network environment is in 10-base-2 networks, and 10-base-2 networks are extremely rare these days. Okay, sure. Let's see how we're doing on questions.
Okay. I'm looking for questions. We are at the end.
We're done? All right, guys, let's go ahead and do one quick competition. Scott, tell them all about something great while
I'll tell you about the competitions. What we're going to do is give away a practice exam of your choice. Normally, of course, people will grab A+ or Net+ or Security+, whatever they're studying for, but we have practice exams that run all the way up the scale as far as what's available. So if you already have the trifecta and you're like, I'm just here for fun, but you're working on Pen Test Plus, here's a chance to win free questions. So here are the rules. First, Mike's going to put up a multiple choice question with multiple answers. Don't answer A, B, C, or D, but type enough of the answer so that we know you know what you're talking about, right? So that's one. Two, this is inherently not fair because there's somebody from the other part of the country is going to have a slower response time just on the time it takes the message to get back to us than somebody in the next town. So there is that. So it's the first person who gets the correct answer that shows up in my feed is the one who wins. If you want to play and don't want to win anything, just type your answer and type the word pass at the end. And then we can give you bragging rights if you win, which would be awesome. But then we also
unless you're David Mohan, who gets nothing.
David Mohan is our
He'll get nothing.
6-time champion. We find he's the only one with the distinction of being cut off.
We literally,
kept-
David was winning so many times in a row. He like broke the bank in Monte Carlo. And I'm like, I'm sorry, Dave, but we have to cut you off. And he's been a good team player about that.
Absolutely. All right, so what have we got going here?
All right,
Do
so
you have
what
a
I thought
question?
would be fun is let's do a CYSA Plus question.
Woo! Bringing out the big guns. Excellent.
Actually, I find CYSA Plus to be a lot easier than people think.
Avocado.
What?
The answer is totally going to be B. I haven't even
Okay,
seen the question.
go with that, avocado. All right, so remember, guys, do not type A, B, C, or D. You're going to literally type this right into the chat window, okay? So do not type A, B, C, or D. Type enough so that I know what you're talking about, all right? Personally, I think this question is... so it's CYSA, but you don't even have to know CYSA, in my opinion, to be able to answer this one. So you ready? Let's do it.
Here we go. Here we go.
What software development criteria should be completely defined before the first line of code is written? So before you start writing code, what should be defined, okay? So let's go through. Code review team members, regression testing, functional, non-functional, and security requirements, user interface format, and layout.
Okay.
All right, guys, we need to see you guys type in some answers here. You're competing for 90-day access to whatever practice bank you want from Total Seminars. All right, so I am pretty sure that the answer is going to be C, functional. So it's requirements, guys. Once you see the word requirements when we're talking about code development, that's your big clue. So we're going to check. Oh, by the way, this is the practice engine of Total Seminars. So check your answer.
Called Total Tester.
Called Total Tester. Answer C is correct. So the right answer, kids, is, answer explanation. C is correct because software requirements should be completely known and defined before any code writing begins. More people should read that. Okay.
Yes.
Well, we want
Absolutely.
it to be blue. We really want it to be blue. Okay, so functional, non-functional, and security requirements. All right, so Scott, do we have any winners there, buddy?
Well, let's see.
Functional, non-functional, and security requirements.
Avocado. I stand by my answer, which
Was
wasn't the right one.
42?
No, it was B. Let's see. Who do we have here? Functional, non-functional, and security requirements. Would that be the correct answer?
Yes.
This would be a new winner. Congratulations, Brent Peterson.
Brent Peterson.
Brent Peterson was the first one to show up on my feed with the correct answer.
Brent Peterson, do you ever watch the television series Mad Men? There's a character called Brent Peterson in there who constantly gets fired. Sorry, Brent. It was in the television series. All right. So anyway, Brent. Brent Peterson, congratulations. You are the winner. Now, Brent, in order to grab your prize, you, of course, have to jump through one small hoop. And that hoop looks something like this. Brent, you have to send an email to kathy@total7.com. That's Kathy with a K. Brent, are you writing this down? KATHYY@total7.com, Brent. All you got to do is send an email. Now, Brent, in that email, make sure you have two things. Number one, your YouTube name. So whatever name you are here on YouTube, which is Brent Peterson, you've got to put that in there. And then next thing, Brent, you have to say which practice exam you wish to have. You get A+, Net Plus, Security Plus. The choice is yours, sir. Just go for it, and you got it.
So before we get out of here today, congratulations, Brent. That's awesome.
Well
And-
done. Yeah, it's already after 3. It's 10 after, which is
Yeah, before
we're okay with running over.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Before we get out of here,
You like
just
preemptive zip.
tonight.
But will you love me tomorrow? Is that what you were going with?
No, I don't know what I was going with. I couldn't remember the song you were singing earlier because I don't like Neil Diamond.
Today. Come on. I'm gonna squeeze that juice. You know, I'm gonna get everything I can out of that.
Mike is on every Monday and Wednesday at 2 p.m. Central Time, whether it's daylight savings time or not. So 2 p.m. Central Time for his Ask Me Anything show. I'm here sometimes. On Fridays, Dave Rush, the senior instructor who's in the background banning people, is on doing a fantastic show called Drama. The Dave Rush Ask Me Anything.
DRAMA, drama.
Right, Drama.
Yep.
Dave uses the Raspberry Pi system on a chip, awesome integrated little system, computer, that runs Linux as a way of teaching you stuff you need to know for A+, Network Plus, Security Plus. It's a great way to get into Linux on an actual piece of hardware, and the Raspberry Pi, because it's only like $40 for an entire computer, is an amazing tool for doing all sorts of interesting projects. So Dave will be talking about both regular questions, Linux questions, and also he has some sort of special project of the week that he does, and it's a very fun show. So catch him on Fridays at 2 p.m.
Right here
on this
Total
channel.
Seminars channel 2 guy.
And I assume Dave is going to be posting something about what his particular topic is for this Friday.
And also remember, please join the Discord server. The Discord server is amazing. It's really becoming quite the place for people to getting practice about their CompTIA exams and everything. And the other thing is a lot of times immediately after these AMAs, you'll get me and or Scott and or Dave and or Tolowit and Andrew and Andre and lots of other great guys too.
Absolutely.
And it's also an opportunity to bring your camera and your headset to say hello so we know who you are. You don't have to do that. It's a Discord channel. You can just type in if you want. But it's a fun place to hang out.
So, unsure what Dave's going to be able to pull off between now and Friday. We've been begging for what's called a Retro Pi, which is turning a Raspberry Pi into a classic gaming machine. But there are challenges with not challenges doing a Retro Pi, but in displaying it via a live feed on YouTube. That's the challenge. So he's working on that. But yeah, it'll be fun regardless, because it always is.
And last thing before we go, remember that tonight at 7 o'clock Central Daylight Time, will 7 o'clock work?
Sure.
7 o'clock Central Daylight Time, World of Warcraft with Scott Jernigan, Mike Meyers, maybe Tolowit will jump in.
Tolowit did say
He'll jump in?
He will jump in, absolutely.
And what server?
It's called Bloodsail Buccaneers. It's
Bloodsail Buccaneers, and we tend to play Alliance.
Alliance, that's right.
So even if all you can do is spin up a level 1 character and say hello, do that. It'll be fun. All right?
Absolutely.
Cool.
What do we got left?
That's it. We got to go. Matthew Patrick said, "Hi, Mike from South Africa." Matthew, come back next time. He's about 8 hours ahead of us there.
Right.
Yeah. So
Nice.
all right, we're out of the door here, folks. Be good, and we're going to talk to you again soon. Ready?
Ready.
Do that.
Oh, okay, all right, here you go. Hey.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Now the awkward stare because he hasn't actually clicked the button yet.
I'm watching her here. Social fencing. There it goes. And end. Dismiss.